I would define culture as the personality of the organization. And while some may think that culture is actually lighthearted and perhaps even insignificant, I believe that culture over time equals profitability. Companies that have a healthy organizational culture, they do a few things exceptionally well. They actually develop people, they move people forward in their skill set, they provide engaging workplaces where top talent is attracted, and then they're able to retain that talent. So that certainly facilitates overall success. So the question does arise, how can a company build and sustain a healthy organizational culture? And I believe that it all starts with the vision of the leader. The leader has to be very intentional of driving the company, and the leader has to be clear where the company is going. But for the leader, it also has to be very clear how the company is going to feel on the inside to the people who work there. For myself here, before we ever opened the doors at Exit Realty Achieve, we had a very strategic vision in place for what we wanted it to feel like for the people that worked in this organization. We knew we wanted a place where people were honoring to one another, where there would be collaboration and support, helpfulness, and of course some fun as well. So having a clear vision for the leader, what the company should look like from a cultural standpoint, is really very important. Secondly, I would say it has to be a plan to hire to that vision. The hiring the right people is essential. John Gordon, in his book, The Energy Bus, would certainly remind us to get the right people on the bus. And for myself, my motto over time actually evolved to this: hire great people who just happen to be agents. Because we understand that we can teach and train and develop agents to be better agents, but it's a little bit more complicated to teach someone to be a better person. And as a brand, we're attracting a lot of agents. We have a lot of agents coming across our doorstep. So we began to realize that we had to be very strategic in our hiring procedures, and that when we were interviewing, we had to make sure that we were sitting with people that would be the right fit for our culture, but also would actually support our culture. So that did result in us turning some people away because we wanted, again, the right people. We wanted to hire the right people for the personality of our organization. Jim Collins says, pick who before what. So the who is certainly very important because we need people who are going to help carry the torch for us. Those people then become leaders, they become trailblazers who help to drive the culture, but actually protect the culture as well. So it's so important as leaders that we hire right. Third, I would say honor the relationships. Okay, the relationships in the organization are number one. They really are the glue that holds everything together. Yesterday, we actually had a conversation with our leadership team where we were discussing how companies that are relational-led actually need fewer rules. Because in companies that are relational-led, there's actually a code of conduct. There's certain expected behaviors. And in an organization like that, people then treat each other a certain way and often then just make the wise choice because of the code of conduct that's already in place. So again, as leaders, we have to be intentional about strengthening relationships. I think even having strategies to create opportunities for events and things that actually even further develop relationships. Also, I would say leaders, we need to work to set the example, and I would say that looks like us honoring and serving in any capacity whenever we're able. I actually love getting involved day-to-day activities with my agents as much, again, as my time allows. And, I enjoy spending the time with them. And it's when I'm right with the people that I'm reminded that really it's a privilege for me to be here. And I want our associates I want them to feel the same thing, that they're actually fortunate to be here with us. So culture is clearly a reflection of the actions of the leader. So the leader, the leadership team, they need to take the actions to honor the relationships. Peter Drucker says culture eats strategy for breakfast. I think culture eats the breakfast and so much more. Companies that have a healthy organizational culture, they clearly have a tailwind and they're on a much faster track to success.